What's up, guys? Welcome to FPL Today and welcome to the Game Week 13 squad. Now, this is hopefully a video series I'm going to do for the rest of the season where I go over potentially the best squad of players possible for the direct game week that's up and coming, Game Week 13. So this can help you with games like Fan Team where they have a weekly monster, or Fantasy 5 where you pick players directly for that specific game week. But I will also look towards the future of up and coming game weeks after the game week that we're talking about. So we start off with the goalkeepers, and in this 15-man squad, we're going with Aaron Ramsdale with Newcastle at home, and then as your sub-goalkeeper, Ben Foster, who has Leicester away. Now, Arsenal have a decent run of fixtures coming up in the next 5. They have Newcastle, of course, in the next fixture, but they also have Man United away. Who knows what Man United will show up now that Ollie's moved on. Carrick is currently in charge, but we don't know if an interim will be in place by the time Arsenal face Man United. We've then got Everton away, Southampton at home, and then West Ham at home. Leeds is also coming up in Game Week 18. So Arsenal have looked good recently if we ignore the fact of the Liverpool game where they did get beaten convincingly. And Aaron Ramsdale has looked very impressive, and you can still get him for under 5 million currently at the time of recording this video. So Ramsdale, I think, is a good choice as a number one, because I think you get the potential for more points from Ramsdale than you do the likes of Sanchez, who is a goalkeeper I'm currently on. Foster, he does have Leicester City, Chelsea and Man City in the next 3, so he's purely a bench option. But after that, there is Brentford, Burnley and Crystal Palace, so it does get better for him. And right now, he's the cheapest playing goalkeeper you can get as your substitute. Moving on to defence, we look at Trent Alexander-Arnold, João Cancelo, Reece James, Kieran Tierney and Tariq Lamptey. Now, Trent, I speak enough about on my channel with my team selection. He is currently in some great form. Points-wise, he's on course to have a very good season, and he seems to be playing in a more advanced role, if that's even possible, but also more central as well, as he does sometimes underlap and someone overlaps around him, and he's just in really good form at creating chances. João Cancelo and Reece James are the exact same. Right now across Liverpool, Chelsea and Man City, we have some absolutely amazing defenders that can get points from attack and defence. And I think personally, if you can get it to work for you, getting at least these 3 in your side is a must. You can also go for the likes of Chilwell and have 4 defenders that you play every single game week that have been returning very consistently. I don't like double ups though, because I fear that if Chelsea did concede and they didn't get attacking returns, that potentially I'm putting all my eggs in one basket. So I've gone with James and not Chilwell. You could go the other way depending on what happens in the Champions League games. I am recording this before that. And then the other 2 defenders, Tierney and Lamptey. I think Tierney right now could be coming back to the starting 11 and has always looked impressive in that Arsenal side with that Newcastle fixture especially. And Lamptey has come back to fitness, and I think he really offers something going forward. I think he could use a bit more composure, but I am impressed with Tariq Lamptey. What we'll do with defence, midfield and forwards is we will focus in on a player and their underlying stats. And we're going to focus in on João Cancelo. At 6.6 million, he currently has 32.4% ownership. And it's a great way into that Manchester City side for you, because it does look like he's pretty nailed on, him and Kyle Walker, as the fullbacks of choice for Pep Guardiola. But of course, you do run the risk with Pep of rotation. If we look at the stats, we can see in the last 4 game weeks, we have a significant amount of the shots coming in that period, because in 8 game weeks, he had 20. In the last 4 game weeks, he's had 14. So that's a significant amount of shots on goal. He's also had a significant amount of shots in the last 4 game weeks that have come on target. 6 game weeks and up, he only had 7, and he's now had 6 in the last 4. He does seem to have created a lot of his big chances in the last 2 game weeks. Of course, that fantastic assist to Raheem Sterling. So the numbers actually look really decent recently, and overall amazing for a defender. And with those 5 fixtures, West Ham, Aston Villa, Watford, Wolves and Leeds, I think having some Man City coverage is very important, and Cancelo can do that for you. We now move on to the midfield, and as you can see, we've got Mohamed Salah. I think if you don't have him in your sides, you really are hurting yourself. I'm aware that African Cup of Nations is around the corner, But potentially right now, Salah is one of the informed players in the world, let alone just the Premier League, and Salah should be in your side, and is a very easy captaincy choice for the majority of players. We've then gone with Son as our other big expensive midfielder. This is more of a bit of a hopeful punt because of course he didn't return in game week 12, but with Burnley away and Conte now the man in charge, we're hoping for some returns to come from the likes of Kane and Son, and I've gone with Son for this video. Then the rest of the midfield, slightly cheaper. Gallagher is someone I've talked about lots on this channel. Aston Villa at home. I think Gallagher is a player that's always going to be in and around the points at Crystal Palace. I think he is a very integral player there, although I do love everything that Patrick Vieira is doing in the club. So much so that there's another Crystal Palace player in this video, which surprised me when I actually was looking at all the underlying data. And Smith Rowe, Newcastle at home. Yes, not a great game against Liverpool, but now it's Newcastle. Again, I'm actually surprised that I'm tripling up on Arsenal with this video, and Smith Rowe just looks very impressive, but you could of course look at the likes of Saka and other players. And the one we're probably going to talk about more in depth, Bernardo Silva, has been in great form for Manchester City, and he's one of those that potentially is someone that could be scoring points despite the fact his underlying stats aren't as good as everyone else's. Bernardo Silva coming in at 7.2 million, has 8.8% ownership, and to be honest, most people went with the likes of Mahrez, Foden and Grealish when we were picking Man City players a bit earlier this season. But Bernardo Silva has been a mainstay in that starting 11. Of course, Pep Roulette could always change that. And his underlying stats, while they're not as great as some other players that we potentially will talk about in this series, he has managed 4 shots on goal in the last 2 game weeks, but 3 of those have been big chances, and that's a significant point there. A lot of his big chances have come recently, and he's been putting them away. He's not been creating many big chances either, but he just seems to be a player right now that is popping up in the right place at the right time to get FPL points. And every now and again you do get players who just completely outperform their underlying stats with the amount of goals and assists they return, and potentially Bernardo Silva could be that for you. Then finally we're picking our 3 men up front, and for this game week we're looking at Raul Jimenez with Norwich away. Now Norwich potentially aren't the easy pushover they were earlier on in this season, but Jimenez has been coming back into form and has been, when he does play, a consistent scorer, although he does often like to score just the 1 goal instead of bracing or more. We have Tony coming in as well with Everton at home. Everton haven't looked amazing recently, and Brentford we know can score goals. It's very common for there to be a lot of goals in a Brentford game, so Tony is still a good option even though I have sold him on. And then we've actually got Christian Benteke, Aston Villa at home. Yes, we have 2 Crystal Palace players in the Game Week 13 squad. Benteke's underlying stats I'm going to show you just have looked pretty incredible. At 6.3 million and 2.1% ownership, we have a player in the last 2 game weeks that's had 8 shots on goal, 4 of them being on target, all from inside the box, 2 big chances. And in the last 4 game weeks, he's had 16 shots on goal, 15 from inside the box, 6 on target, with 7 big chances. Now, 7 big chances has come from the last 6 game weeks in total. But for a £6.3 million player at 2.1% ownership, that is a very big differential, especially when a lot of the big premium price forwards haven't really been performing. And yes, I'm actually considering Christian Benteke with Aston Villa and Leeds in the next 2 fixtures. Him coming in for someone like Ronaldo would of course make me very midfield and defence heavy, but the way the season's gone so far, potentially that is the right route to take. Man United in Game Week 15, who knows what Man United will be there, and then Everton and Southampton. I'm liking the fixtures for Christian Benteke and Crystal Palace, and I can't believe there's the potential for me to get Benteke in before Conor Gallagher, who I've been speaking about for absolutely ages. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed this Game Week 13 squad video where we do focus mainly on the Game Week up and coming, and the series is designed so we look at different players and potentially figure out some differentials that aren't the obvious ones that I often look at in my team selection video. So if you have enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe and hit that notification bell. It really does help the channel out, and your support is what makes this possible for me to continue to keep on doing. Finally, I've got a second video out in a game week. Yes, it's been a while. Unfortunately, everything has been absolutely hectic with the kids and work, but we will try and nail down 2 videos a week moving forward. So hit a like just for that alone. In the comments down below, was there anyone for this game week that I missed? Is there someone that could score big that I haven't talked about? Let me know in the comments. I've been J&O. This has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.